A girl found herself cornered at the foot of a cliff by a gang of thugs. Panic-stricken, she realized her only chance of survival was to start scaling the steep rock face with her bare hands. Facing either capture by the criminals or taking a gamble on this perilous climb, she chose the latter, knowing it might be her sole hope of making it out alive. As the girl frantically clambered upward, one of the thugs began pursuing her, hot on her heels. With his superior strength, he quickly caught up to her and even had the audacity to grab at her backpack. But this girl was no pushover. Without hesitation, Lisa delivered a swift kick, sending her assailant tumbling down with a scream that echoed across the entire mountain. Seeing their cohort left with broken bones, the 3 remaining thugs ground their teeth in rage, but they were powerless to retaliate. They had no choice but to tend to their injured comrade first, allowing Lisa to continue her ascent unimpeded. The men dragged their wounded partner to a nearby cabin, hastily bandaged his wounds, fed him some painkillers, and gave him a swig of alcohol. As soon as their companions seemed to be in slightly better shape, they set off in pursuit of Lisa once more. Meanwhile, Lisa had reached a small crevice where she could catch her breath. She pulled out a water bottle from her backpack to replenish her strength before swapping her shoes for the climbing ones she had packed, coated with an anti-slip powder. Time was of the essence, so she wasted none as she resumed her upward journey. At the same time, the thugs had arrived at the base of the cliff, equipped with professional climbing gear. They watched as Lisa climbed higher and higher. The men figured they couldn't continue the chase, as the higher altitudes were too cold and dangerous. Ascending further would be tantamount to a death wish. After some deliberation, they decided the safest course of action would be to take a side path that would lead them to the summit, where they could lie in wait for their prey. Driven by adrenaline and raw determination, Lisa managed to scale half the cliff face with just her bare hands. She thought that by steadily making her way up, she would surely be able to shake off her pursuers. Suddenly, a snake appeared right in front of her. Fearing for her life, Lisa held her breath and remained utterly motionless, terrified that any movement might provoke the serpent to strike. Thankfully, the snake eventually slithered away, allowing Lisa to breathe a sigh of relief. However, the prolonged lack of movement had caused her hands to go numb. She desperately shook them to get her blood flowing again before pressing herself against the cliff face and taking a sip of water from her bottle. In a cruel twist of fate, her water bottle slipped from her grasp and plummeted to the bottom of the ravine, filling Lisa with a profound sense of despair. The 3 thugs, witnessing Lisa's water bottle fall, hurled crude insults at her, trying to break her focus. But she refused to engage with them and, after applying more anti-slip powder, resumed her climb. Soon, she found herself facing a smooth, featureless expanse of rock with no handholds in sight. Then she spotted a rope hanging nearby. Lisa tried to grab it, but her arms were too short to reach. Undeterred, she quickly devised a plan. Biting down on her backpack, she pulled out a wire from its edge and bent it into a hook shape. After a few attempts, she successfully snagged the rope and pulled it into her grasp.